In February 1959, 9 hikers walked into the Ural Mountains. Only one of them was still fully dressed when they were found. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. Not untied, cut with knives, in the middle of a Siberian winter, at temperatures plunging toward -25°C. Whatever made them do that, they did not stop to grab their boots. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, the case that Soviet investigators closed within months, stamped compelling unknown force, and then sealed for decades. 9 experienced skiers went into the mountains. 9 bodies came out, and more than 60 years later, nobody agrees on why. The group left Sverdlovsk, now Ekaterinburg, on January 23, 1959. 10 hikers in total, students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, an experienced skier known for his careful planning. This was a Category 3 trek, the most difficult grade in Soviet mountaineering, a roughly 350-kilometer route through the northern Urals to Otorten Mountain and back. One member, Yuri Yudin, turned back early on January 28 due to knee and rheumatism pain. That decision saved his life. He would spend the rest of his own life. He died in 2013, trying to understand what happened to his 9 friends. The remaining 9 pressed on: Dyatlov himself, Zinoida Kolmogorova, Ludmila Dubinaina, Alexander Kolevatov, Rustam Slobodin, Yuri Doroshenko, Yuri Krivonischenko, Nikolai Thibault-Brignoles, and Alexander Zolotaryov, the oldest at 38, a war veteran attached to the group as a guide, though some accounts note the other hikers barely knew him before the trip. By January 31st, they'd reached the base of a mountain the local Mansi people called Kolitsayakal, translated roughly as Dead Mountain. On February 1st, they made a decision that still puzzles investigators. Rather than descend to the tree line for shelter, they pitched their tent directly on the exposed slope. Some researchers believe they wanted to avoid losing elevation they'd already gained. Others think they simply misjudged the terrain in worsening weather. That was the last confirmed decision any of them made. The group failed to check in as scheduled on February 12th. Search parties weren't dispatched for days, and what those searchers found, starting on February 26th, would open a mystery that Soviet authorities could not, or would not, fully explain. The search team finds the tent first, half collapsed under snow on the open slope. It is sliced open from inside, not at the entrance but through the fabric itself, several parallel cuts, as though someone tore their way out in seconds rather than fumbling with a frozen zipper. Boots are still inside. Coats are still inside. 9 sets of footprints lead away from the tent, down toward the tree line 1.5 kilometers below. And for a long stretch, some of those footprints belong to people wearing only socks or a single shoe, in weather that will kill exposed skin in under half an hour. At the tree line, under a large cedar, searchers find the first 2 bodies. Doroshenko and Krivonischenko, stripped down to their underwear, lying near the remains of a small fire. The cedar's branches are broken up to 5 meters high, as if someone had climbed it, perhaps to see something coming, perhaps to see something they were running from. Between the cedar and the tent, 3 more bodies are found in the following weeks, seemingly frozen in the act of trying to crawl back to shelter. The last 4 are not found until May, when the snow finally melts. And this is where the case turns from tragic to genuinely strange. Dubinaina is missing her tongue, her eyes, part of her lips, and facial tissue. Thibault-Brignoles has a fractured skull. Zolotaryov and Dubinaina both have severe chest fractures, the kind of blunt trauma investigators compare to a car crash. Yet there is no external bruising, no broken skin. One investigator would later say the force required was equivalent to being hit by a vehicle, delivered to bodies that showed no sign of a struggle. The Soviet inquiry closes in May 1959. The official conclusion: the hikers died from a compelling natural force. No further explanation is offered. The files are classified. In the days immediately after, some searchers report strange orange glows in the night sky over the mountains, a detail that will fuel speculation. For the next 60 years, though no one at the time connects it to anything concrete. For decades, the case sat in a locked drawer, and into that silence poured every theory imaginable. Mansi tribesmen, secret weapons testing, Soviet cover-up, even the paranormal. But the theory that has gained the most scientific ground doesn't need a monster or a missile. In 2019, Russian prosecutors reopened the case, and in 2021, a team of Swiss and Russian researchers modeling snow slab dynamics proposed something almost mundane: a delayed slab avalanche, small but powerful enough to crush ribs and skulls without leaving the bruising you'd expect from a larger, faster slide, triggered hours after the hikers had cut into the slope to pitch their tent. It doesn't explain everything, not the missing tongue, not the radiation traces later found on some clothing, but it is the first explanation that fits the physics of broken bones without broken skin. Maybe that's the real ending. Not a monster on Dead Mountain, but 9 people making one small, understandable mistake: pitching a tent on the wrong slope and paying for it with everything. The mountain the Monsi named for the dead now carries a second name: Dyatlov Pass. And whatever finally silenced 9 experienced hikers in the dark, it did it fast enough that they never had time to put on their boots. If you want more stories like this, subscribe. A new piece of history drops every week. Share this video with someone who loves history. Comment below. What part of this story surprised you most?